Keep it real close.
So
real close.
Tell me just tell me your name so I can get just a quick audio read on you.
All right. My name's Austin Keller.
Welcome, Austin.
I don't know why I said that like a question. My name's Austin Keller.
I'm Ron Burgundy. I know you've listened to some of these in the past.
I have.
So how fun that you get to be a part of one.
How fun.
It's it's like the initiation.
Yeah, right.
Welcome to the family.
No, this is cool. First podcast ever, so.
Nice.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Are you nervous at all?
I'm nervous.
Oh, there's nothing to be nervous about.
Just a stroll down.
Just sitting by a legend over there, Bronson.
Okay, that got rid of it. I'm not nervous anymore. You guys,
See, there you go.
you guys just calm the nerves right out of me.
Of course.
Awesome.
Just an easy conversation.
From the Harris Financial Center in Provo, Utah, welcome to the HIG podcast. This is your go-to source for exploring the world of investing. Each week, alongside industry experts from Harris Investment Group, we explore investment strategies and tackle the many different concepts and terms to help you navigate the landscape of investments. From understanding the complexities of tax strategies to exploring the many avenues of real estate investment, our roundtable discussions are designed to equip you with actionable insights. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out, our goal is to provide clarity and understanding so you, the investor, can make financial decisions with confidence. I am Matty P, and I am here with dual sports college athlete, retired NFL athlete, advisor to many, the networking guru, and your host of the HIG podcast, Bronson Kaufusi. Are you nervous now, Austin?
A little bit.
Oh, that was wonderful.
Just so you know, I actually cut that list down by like 20, so I could have just kept going on.
You should. Yeah. No, take up all the time introducing Bronson.
That was the first time he's ever done that. That's hilarious. That was hilarious. Well played, Matty P. Well played.
That just about does it. Have a great day.
Sweet.
We are here with one of our new employees. You can hear him. His name's Austin Keller. Austin, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's nice to have you on here. One thing that Bronson and I like to do, it's kind of like we said, like an initiation, get to know you. We bring you into the fold. A lot of our investor partners listen to this, and we just want to get to know you.
Yeah, for sure. I feel very welcomed. Thank you, guys. Glad to be on.
So where are you from?
So I'm from Sandy, Utah.
Okay.
Just 40 minutes down the road from here.
There you go.
Yeah.
40 minutes on a good day.
On a good day. That's right.
Right now, it might be a little longer than 40 minutes. About
Probably.
4 p.m. over here.
On a Friday.
On a Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It's probably 80 minutes today. But
Well, that's great. So tell us your story. How did you hear about Harris Investment Group?
Yeah, for sure. So how I heard about Harris Investment Group, I was in college, so I just graduated
Congrats.
just
That's
a
cool.
couple weeks ago. Yeah, thank you.
Nice.
So graduated with a finance degree from Utah State.
Shout out to Aggies.
Shout out Aggies. Yep, I was up in Logan. Love it there. So just graduated, and I was finishing up a class. It was an advanced investment analysis class, so it actually didn't have anything to do with real estate. It was more like on the equities and stocks, stock market side of things. And Matt Isley, who works here, had sent a notification to my teacher because he had taken that class before, and he said, we're looking for a entry-level analyst or a new analyst at HIG, and someone with the kind of experience that you give in your class. So my teacher sent the notification out on the school website, and so that's how I heard about Harris Investment Group. So as I started looking into it, I got really interested really fast.
Who you know. That's a tip right there, everyone. Who you know matters.
That's really cool. Everybody has their own path how they get here. Mm-hmm. Some of us just replied to job postings, but that's actually a really cool story.
Yeah.
Okay, your background's in finance. Mm-hmm. You're here at Harris Investment Group, real estate private equity firm, multifamily gas stations. Tell us what you think about it. I would love to hear what do you think about it? You've been here for, how long have you been here?
About 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks?
3.5 weeks. Yeah. Tell us what you think about the operation now that you've kind of, you're starting to understand it a little bit more now.
Yeah. So when I was first looking into Harris Investment Group, that's actually one of the things that really interested me is our focus on truck stop acquisitions, gas stations. It's something pretty unique. So in my undergrad or in college, I graduated with a degree in finance, but I also did a minor in real estate. So I actually did focus a lot on real estate investments. Prior to this, I had an internship up at Utah State, run by the head of the real estate department in USU. His name's Ryan Whitby. Shout out Ryan. He's a great guy. Great program. So we would look at multifamily investments and underwrite them. And we were actually a boutique debt shop. So we would also fund certain renovations and things like that, projects. But when I heard about Harris Investment Group and how we invest a lot in truck stops, I thought, that's something really different than what I had experience in. And as I started interviewing and kind of looking into it more, I realized that was a really stable type of investment, more than multifamily. There's a little bit less risk.
Yeah.
We do a thing, I guess, with these truck stop acquisitions, there's a thing called a triple net lease, which basically means that the tenant, so whoever's running the gas station, pays maintenance, taxes, insurance. Basically, Harris Investment Group doesn't have to worry too much about any of the expenses that go with the property. We just worry about how good the operator's doing and if the real estate's appreciating. So
triple net leases, we talked about that with Chuck in episode 24. Check out that episode. It's definitely worth listening to.
Yeah. Once you understand how triple net lease works, you can see how within your real estate portfolio, how it is a more de-risked asset than some of the other things that are out there. So that's why it is unique when you hear triple net lease on a gas station truck stop. It's like, what? It's funny. When I go to a bunch of different networking events, investment stuff, family office stuff, when people hear the model, they are just like, what in the world? Like, tell us more about that model. And just because you don't really hear a lot of firms doing it. And so it's nice to be able to go and share about that and how it works. Because it is unique. Like you said, it's kind of like catches your eye a little bit. Like, whoa, what is that?
Yeah, it's very unique. And I think something that's been really cool for me as I've started here, already we just closed a deal actually yesterday. I don't know if I should be saying this. Maybe
No, we sent an email out today. Junction TA Center.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it is public knowledge.
Okay, cool. I'll keep going. So just yesterday we closed up my first deal while I've been here, or our first deal while I've been working here on a truck stop in Junction, Texas. And so going through the process and learning more about how we do that was really interesting to me. Something I found especially interesting is that finding lenders who are comfortable or used to lending to on those kinds of projects for truck stops specifically, you don't find many of them. So it is kind of a rare thing. And like you said, Bronson, it catches your eye, and it's a very unique way to have a good investment that's not so risky.
I love it. So currently, we're looking at the just, macroeconomics right now. We're looking at a current market where people are turning to income plays. I don't know. I was reading some family office UBS investment data, and this is public. It's out there. But, they were going over kind of where family offices are placing their capital allocations. And you see how, last year it went up by 2% private credit, which is an income play overall. And they're expected for it to go up another percent. Well, at the same time, private equity, specifically income producing private equity, is growing as well. And it's the same thing, but it's just, we fit underneath that kind of umbrella. And it's really cool to see us. People are becoming more and more interested because it's like, whoa, I never thought about that before. Yeah. But how many times do you stop off at a gas station going across the country and you see all the truckers sitting there with their cars parked, their trucks parked. It's like, that's a business. It's stuff like that you don't think about. At least for me, like when I looked at it, when I first joined the firm, and I was learning all about, the gas stations and how they play. And I was like, oh, wow. That is awesome.
Well, let me ask you this question. How many times have you been to a truck stop that is like a hole in the wall and seen a whole lot of trucks out there. Like not very often.
Yeah.
No.
Over the last couple of years working here, I've realized I've started to put together the dots where all the trucks are here. It's got to be a good one. And most of them, I mean, TA Centers is a big one.
Yeah, TA Centers.
One of the big ones. But if you want like a nice experience, whether you're a trucker or not, I'm not a truck driver. But when I go there with my kids, I know they're going to have more than like 12 candy options. They're going to have, different beef jerkies, 150 drinks.
It's very clean in there too.
Yeah.
Very clean in a TA Center or a Quick Trip.
That's a really good point you bring up, because one of the things we do when we're looking at truck stops, if a truck stop is kind of a ma and pa type truck stop, like you said, not as many truckers are going to go there. So, kind of a really strategic play is buy up that truck stop. And these truckers have memberships or loyalty with certain operators like TA, for example, like you mentioned. So buying those ma and pa run truck stops and converting them to TA centers oftentimes doubles the NOI. That might be an exaggeration, but brings the net operating income up a lot from day one.
Yeah, quite a bit.
So it makes it a really profitable investment for us.
I went to one down by Vegas, and I was just blown away that like all the slushy machines, all the food, everything, multiple restaurants, like.
Was that the one right outside of Mesquite?
I think so, yes.
I went to that one too.
It's nice.
Yeah, it is.
That's nice, but it's just stuff like that. It's like, how does that work? You don't really ask yourself that question. When you walk in there, you're thinking, what color slushy am I about to get?
One of the many operators that we work with, LV Petroleum, they have a really good eye for those types of gas stations or truck stops where it's like a mom and pop, but it's right off of the interstate. Like the Junction TA one that we're talking about, it's right off of Interstate 10.
I think so.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I think you're right too.
I-10.
I-10. And their play is to go in with their value add approach and make it into something awesome. So,
yeah. It's really interesting too to see like the back end of it. I think that's, it gets even more interesting. And so maybe high level, maybe you can share with us kind of your role. Like, what do you do here at Harris Investment Group?
What do I do for us?
Yeah, tell us. Yeah, your
never
role.
mind. I don't do anything. I'm just kidding.
You're like, I go try the slushies at the truck stop after they're finished.
make sure they're good.
Yeah, make sure they're good here. Okay, we're good here, people. This one's
the blue
good.
one.
Yeah, but yeah, tell us.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So I was brought on as an analyst. So, and I guess my responsibilities kind of vary from what you might traditionally think of as an analyst. So I'm especially helping a lot with the loan side of things. So talking with brokers and lenders, being that source of communication, knowing the stories behind each of our properties and kind of what that background communicates to the lenders and the brokers that we talk to. It can affect the loans that we get and the terms of the loans that we get, which ultimately affect the profitability of a property for us. Mm-hmm. So that's a big part of my role here. And then in addition to that, I was also brought on to help with the financial analysis of the truck stops and doing the financial modeling and potentially helping out with some of the due diligence parts of our acquisitions for truck stops. You
are seeing things full circle, and it sounds like you already saw a deal go through. So
yeah,
that's actually exciting. Wow. Okay. So now that you've seen a full deal, you've been a part of Harris Investment Group for 3.5 weeks. For yourself, what's really exciting you right now about Harris Investment Group and what's going on here?
Yeah, no, that's great. So when I was first interviewing at Harris, I think one of the things that was really exciting for me is that we're a really small team. I think I don't want to mess this up. There's 14 or 15. I think there's 14 or 15 of us.
We're in the teens.
You can check me on that. But yeah, a really small team. And so for me coming out of college, that means that working here, I get to have my hands on a lot of different parts of the acquisition and the refinance process. And I get to see a lot of different things, which is really, really valuable experience for someone, and like me or in my shoes. And apart from that, in spite of our really small team, our deal volume is actually really high. And so basically what that says is we grind.
Yeah.
We're a small team, but we do high volume of deals. And so that was really interesting to me. And it's a really fast-paced place to work as far as the deals go.
That's true.
Really awesome team. It's been cool to get to know people, and some of the conversations I've had have just reaffirmed my interest in the company and my decision to work here. So
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. It's a great, going back to what we said, and something I absolutely love and I've always lived by is who, not how. That's what matters. You probably don't know this. Maybe you do. But I was an investor with Jason first. And, when I was in and out of the NFL, kind of how, I'd been investing with Jason for a while. I think it was about 4 or 5 years up to that point. But I always loved his approach to education and teaching his investor partners how these things operate. Because in his mind, he wants to teach you so that technically you could go do it yourself, or at the very least, explain it to someone and you become the teacher. And I love that. And so that's a foundational principle that Harris Investment Group has been built on, is that level of education, teaching. And I mean, even and you see it in things that we do today, like this podcast, and bringing people on and asking them to teach, and because it moves so fast, but there's so much good knowledge that we gain along the way, and when you're in it every day, it is awesome. Like all the things you learn, like you learn something new all the time here.
It's a great place to be,
for sure. And that's another good point is being surrounded by some really smart and talented people is a really great thing for me at Harris Investment Group. So, we have some really smart people here. So we have Jason Harris, Matt Denning, to name a couple, Matt Pinnell, marketing.
I don't know about that
guy. Hey, Matty P is a baller, just so everyone knows. And his greatest talent, well, he has a lot of talents, but one of his greatest talents, just wait. You're going to be excited. It starts off pew pew. That's all you got to know. The man is talented.
More to come.
Yeah, more to come. More to come on that. That's been so great having you. First podcast ever.
Yeah,
it's great. It's great. But what we do want from our listeners is we want our listeners to ask you a question. So when you come back, we'll have a question for you. So if anyone out there has a question, reach out, send an email, contact@harrisinvestmentgroup.com and ask us that question, because part of this podcast, right, is we want to go back and forth with people, and I think that's important. So this has been great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for being on, man.
Absolutely.
It's been really nice having you on. Welcome to the team.
Thank you.
Yeah,
appreciate you guys.
Welcome aboard.
Do you guys do that after every podcast?
Yeah. I actually forgotten to do it the last couple. So Austin, hope you find your dad.
Thank you.
Bronson, have you found your dad yet?
Every day I'm looking for him, but I'm pretty sure he's Batman, so he could be in this tower.
I knew it. He's a very big Batman.
That is true.
The HIG podcast expresses the views of its participants and may not represent the views of Harris Investment Group. The views discussed are subject to change without notice. The HIG podcast has no duty or obligation to update the information contained herein. It should not be assumed that past investment performance discussed is an indication of future results. Wherever there is the potential for profit, there is also the potential of loss. This is the very nature of investing. The HIG podcast and its affiliates do not provide tax, legal, or accounting advice. The information shared on this podcast should not be construed as an offering, advisory service, or investment advice. Consult your own tax, legal, and accounting advisors before engaging in any transaction. This podcast, including the information contained herein, is the sole property of Harris Investment Group and may not be copied, reproduced, republished, or posted in whole or in part without the prior written consent of Harris Investment Group.